everybody, this is Tina. Welcome to Memory Keeping Friday. I'm so excited, you guys, because look what I have. I have a bunch of photos. So I wanted to share some alternative ideas if you get behind in project life and you've not been taking photos and you don't, so then you have pages where you need photos but you've not been taking photos, because that's what's happened to me. A couple weeks ago I shared with you guys I had major problems with my computer, then I had major problems with my phone. So I was in the middle of getting everything fixed on my computer and making sure everything was in its proper place, and then I started having problems with my phone, and during that time it was very stressful, so I just stopped taking photos. Like all of a sudden I realized, wow, I'm not even really taking photos each day like I need to be doing. So the last time that I had got photos printed, it was back in August. It was week 35. And you can see I had like 3 places where I still needed photos. I did a collage of some photos here. And so that was fine. I knew that it would be easy to do those. I probably printed, I think I actually printed on Wednesday and I used this photo for Friday. Because remember, I fake my photos sometimes. So I know that I have these photos. But then when we go into September, so this starts September. And for September, I'm using the Currently Core Kit by Becky Higgins. Sorry about this light, guys. It's just, it is what it is with this lighting in here. Okay, so I'm using the Currently Core Kit from Becky Higgins, and I already have all my cards in. I have my like date cards and circle cards in here. You can see one just flew out, and I do need week 40. So this is week 36. Oh no, not yet. I don't need this is week 36 right here. Okay, so this is what I've done. I realized that I have all of these weeks that need photos, and I have a few photos in here that could work, but then I would either, the option is if I'm missing photos, because I do it in a monthly basis, a weekly basis, where I take photos each day, and then my layout works Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. My option is to just take a couple page protectors out and then maybe just have 1 spread or 2 spread for the month of September, which totally works. I've done that before where I just don't have enough photos to fill up the entire, you know, one for each week. So I just take out a couple page protectors and then I'll just dump my photos in, and I'm like, this is kind of what happened in September. Like, nobody's really going to care how many or how little photos there are. There's just something that represents our September. But instead of doing that, I decided to do something really fun. So what I did is there's always ways to kind of fill in your layouts. So the one thing I did is I asked my husband to take photos where he works. Now I know maybe you don't have a spouse that is all that enthusiastic about taking photos and sending them to you. Maybe you wouldn't get as many. My husband, really, I've trained him really good. I've been scrapbooking since we were dating. So he's really great about taking photos, and especially if I ask him specifically, can you specifically take photos of, you know, something, he does really well. So he's a tow truck driver, and so I asked him to take photos of different places he went. So there's these are the photos that he took. Well, I took this one of the tow truck. He took one of him driving. There's a couple around a lake that he was at that he took a photo of. Those didn't make it into my printing. I missed them somehow. But he took several. So he took about 7 photos of different places he was at. He took this photo of a car he picked up. So I have those. And then I had a really fun opportunity where my mom was in town, and he got a call at night. It was in the evening, and I got to go with him. And that's not something that usually happens because we have kids, so I can't just leave them alone. And so I snapped a few pictures of different things. He was loading up a car here. He was washing the tow truck here. It's something that he does probably every day. He washes the tow truck. And so I snapped some photos. So I'm going to do an entire layout, which is right here. You see this sticky note right here. This entire week is going to be about driving and his work. So he works Thursday through Sunday. So obviously he doesn't work a full week. It's not like he took this picture on Monday, this picture on Tuesday, right? But I can use all of these photos in one spread. And then I'm going to document what he does, and I'll ask him to do some journaling cards, and then it'll just be a way to look at his days, because sometimes he's not in a lot of our photos if he's at work, you know, towards the end of the week. So these photos will be for here, and then I'm going to do this week right here, week 39. No, this week right here. The next week. So my family was in town. My mom and my grandparents were in town. And they came down. My mom helped me with a kitchen project. They live about 4 hours away. And so what I did is I took a bunch of photos, obviously, when they were here. And I did them all in black and white. You can see that all these photos are black and white. And I did that on purpose. I use PicMonkey on my phone, or I'm sorry, I use PicTapGo on my phone. So I use this photo app right here. This photo editing app is also in the Project Life app. So if you have the Project Life app right there, this is a way you can, whoopsie. This is a way you can edit your photos. So when you go in here, it's super easy. You just pick a photo. I'll pick this one right here. You go to picture right there, and then I already have some filters that I use. It'll save the filters that you use the most. I used this Brooklyn filter for all my black and white photos because it gives you a really nice black and white, crisp, beautiful filter. So then you just go, you save it to your camera roll. That's what I did. So I have all of these. So they were only here for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all of these photos in this spread here. So one full spread will be their trip. And I have some photos like this that will just go in the pockets. We had some other family that was visiting from out of state. I took this photo of my grandpa's boot, and I was making fun of him, kind of teasing him because his boot is split. And he's retired. He worked at a mill his whole life. So he worked in the wood and timber industry, and he's retired now. And I said, why do you wear these big old work boots when you don't, like, you're not working, you're retired? And he said, well, these are the only kind of boots I've ever worn. And so I was kind of teasing him. And so that's why I took this photo of his work boot, and it's split from the water. And I'll tell that story. So I'll probably cut this down to a 3x4 and stick it in a pocket. I may do an insert if I have, you know, having so many photos. This is 2 photos I put together. We had a fire that broke out while my grandparents were here. It was really close to our town. And so I did the Facebook status update for CAL FIRE and then a photo of where we could see the smoke. And so I have those that I can put in a pocket. And then here's the kitchen project my mom and I were doing. So I'll put that in there. And then so I just have a ton of these photos, and they're all in black and white. And I will stick those all in here, and I'll do that whole spread. So the other thing that I'm going to do is a spread for each one of my kids. So this I thought would be a really fun idea to do, is I would just take a week and I would do photos of each one of our kids. Like Kayla will have a full spread, Violet will have a full spread, and Andrew will have a full spread, and I will sprinkle that throughout the rest of the year. So I won't do that all in September. I think I'll start with Kayla because she's the oldest, so I'll do one of her in September, and then in October I'll do one of Violet, and then actually in October I'll probably do one of Andrew because October is his birthday, and then in November I'll do one of Violet because that's when her birthday is. So that is a really cool way to fill in your pages for your album. If you're short on photos, you just pick a theme basically for the week, and then you focus on that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through all of my photos. I'm going to fill in all of September because we're right at the end of September here. So I'm going to fill in all of these photos, and I'm going to come back and kind of show you how everything looks and what I did. And then I'll talk more about what I found as I was dropping photos in. Hi guys, I am back and I want to share with you what I've done. I have dropped all of my photos in. So I had a few that needed to go in for the end of August. So I did that. And then for September, I did some of those weeks where I did a theme for the week. So this is the week that I did for driving. I have this acrylic letter or this acrylic word right here. It says drive. I subscribe to Allie Edwards' story theme kits every month. So every month I get a different theme. And this is one of the ways that I'm using them in my project life. You always get one of these acrylic words. And I used one of them earlier in the year. So I have drive here. And then these are all the photos from my husband took a few. And then when I got to go with him, I took a few. And then one of the tow trucks. So I put all my photos in and then I started to put a few embellishments on. So this says drive and then this one says daily commute. I have the back of my pocket right here and it just has a few to stick this in here. Will it fit? I think these fit okay, yeah. It was my husband's birthday this month and that was one of his cards. So I'll stick that in there. Then here's just like a normal week. So what I did with my photos, because I did not have a ton of photos to work with, what I did is I just put all of the photos that I knew were like daily, everyday photos. I put them in a pile. I did this week first. Then I knew I wanted to skip a week. And then I did this week with the black and white photos of my grandparents. And then I knew I had photos for this week, which is like the end of September. So we're not quite all the way at the end of September. So what I did for this week and this week is I just sprinkled the rest of the photos in. So this probably did not happen on a Sunday. This could have happened on a Tuesday because my husband's home. But I just sprinkled them in where they could go. And it's a good overlook of the month of September for us, even though everything's not perfect. And I talk a lot about that, about faking your photos or sticking them in there, because it doesn't really matter if it happened on a Monday or on the 29th of the month. That's just the way my brain works. So it's easier for me when I'm staying on top of things. But if you're looking at going back and dropping photos in, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exact. So we have this week that's kind of just everyday photos. There's some stories that we need to tell, a broken windshield. This is when we had one of the there was some situation with the moon, like it was some special thing. So my husband actually took this when he was driving, when he was out on a call one night. And so that is September. So we'll go right into October, which I've used the designer paper from Stampin' Up. And like I said, I am going to do a week of I'll do just Andrew. So there'll be photos of just Andrew. Then in November, I'll do just Violet, because her birthday is in November. And then I'll eventually do one of Kayla. I had thought I might do one of Kayla in September, but it turned out I had enough photos. I may do Kayla in October. I'm just looking at it as a way to take a break from making sure I have all the photos as I'm getting back into the swing of things. I've actually been back in the swing of taking photos for about 4 or 5 days now, and it comes natural to me to take photos. So I am finding like all of a sudden I'm overloaded with photos again, if that makes sense. So I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing an overlook of where September is and what I did. My absolute favorite is this black and white spread that I did. Right now I'm just adding a few embellishments here and there. I went in and did my title cards, and I've added a few things that I just have felt like would go. I had some things that coordinated with this kit. And then I'll do my journaling and we'll go right into October. Probably October I'll do journaling either on my computer because it's all designer paper. But then for November I'll be able to just write on cards again. So that'll be a good way to get some variety in there as well. So thanks guys for hanging out with me today. I'll be back next week. I'll have card projects and more project life for you guys. I hope you're having a fabulous Friday, and I will talk to you guys out with me today. Over on my website, I have a PDF of different themes that you can use in your weekly spreads, you can go over to my website and print that out if you would like. And then I have 2 other videos here for you guys. I have one that uses the Thoughtful Branches stamp set that was exclusive. There are a few of those left, so if you didn't pick that up and you still want to, you can head over to my website and pick that up. And then the second video I have for you is the 6 different cards I created with the Totally Trees stamp set. I love the way those cards came out still. I'd love to make 100 more of those with the glitter and the glossy accents. So you can check that video out. I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I'll be back tomorrow with a very special video for you guys. Have a great day.